Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel Life with Annette. If you're new to my channel, my name is Annette Mojoko, a mother of two, and today's video is a deeply personal one. It's a video where I chose to talk about or share with you my journey, a journey that has been filled with so much challenges, so much laughter, tears, joy. In today's video, we'll be talking about my experiences, my challenges, and my difficulties as a single parent. Well, becoming a single parent was not a role or was not a path that I initially chose for myself. You know, when growing up, everybody has this fairy tale kind of dream, like, I want to go through school, get married, have a home, have 4 kids, have 3 kids with my husband, and I wake up. You have this dream in your head, but it is what it is. Life gives you what it has to give you on a platter of gold, and you just have to make do with it. So I didn't choose to become a single parent. However, this role is what I have embraced and I love with all my heart. I know there are lots of you out there who are single parents as well, and others may be maybe prospect single parents in the future. So I just hope that by sharing with you guys my story, my journey through single parenthood, you can be able to pick up something, you can be able to learn. My story can be able to inspire you, can be able to motivate you not to give up and not to feel like you're alone in this journey, in this path of being a single parent. In today's video, I'll be taking you through my personal journey as a single parent, and equally sharing with you the strategies that I have developed to cope with my challenges. And of course, being a single parent is not in hell. You're a single parent doesn't mean you're in hell or you're doomed, because yeah, single parenting comes with challenges, comes with its own problems, but there are also very joyful moments as a single parent. There are moments where you feel proud as a single parent. So yeah, I'll equally be sharing with you those happy moments as a single parent. But I would also want us to talk about some very challenging aspects being a single parent, which are like the financial part of it, the emotional aspects of it, and the father of it all. I call it the father of it all because that's the most, like, it's the most trickiest and the most challenging, in my opinion, co-parenting, which is part of being a single parent. You must co-parent, especially when the other party is being part of the child's life. So you have to look for a common ground on how to do the co-parenting, which is very challenging. But before we continue, guys, I would like to extend my warm greetings and warm thank you to all of you out there who have been a part of this journey, who have been a part of this community, and to all my 107 subscribers. I love you guys. And if you're joining in for the very first time, please don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, share, and comment. For more interesting videos like this, please don't forget to click on the notification button below. So whether you're a single parent yourself, or you're considering being a single parent in future, or you're just interested in learning more about this journey, please stay tuned and join me as we explore the highs and the lows of being a single parent. Yeah, so let's talk about the story behind me being a single parent today. Basically, I'll start from my first child, right? So I had my first child at the age of 22 when I just finished my university studies. Yeah, it was not easy. It was not an easy situation. It was not something like you planned it. I didn't plan to get pregnant. It happened, and I had to deal with it. I had to grow up because back then in African culture and in certain homes, because it's not every home that reacts the same, or not every parent will react the same to having their child come back home from school with pregnancy. So I came back home with pregnancy, and it wasn't funny for my parents, especially for my mom. She reacted like extremely, extremely disappointed. But she eventually came around after some time and helped me through the procedure, helped me through the grooming of becoming a parent, of becoming a mother at that age. So I want to use this opportunity to tell her a very big thank you, to tell her that I love her, and to tell her how much I appreciate her, because I couldn't have done it without her help. She helped me. She encouraged me at the end of the day to be a parent, to be a mother, the mother that I am today. So yeah, and yeah, I had a child at the age of 22. It wasn't easy. I had to step up. I had to put on the shoes of a mother. I had to, and which are very heavy shoes to fill, and can't tell you for sure. Being a mother at that young age, man, you are overwhelmed with so much responsibilities, because you now have a new human, one small tiny human that you have to take care of. You have to make sure they feed. You have to make sure that you clothe them. They have to go to school and all of that. So it was so much for me at that age, but I thank God that I was able to step up with the help of my parents to take care of my child while I go back to school, while I tried to further my career. I had to work. I had to even go work in other towns, and my child was with my parents going to school in Bamenda. I was in Yaoundé and all of that. So thank you to my parents, thank you to my family for supporting me throughout that journey. But the challenge for me was not having a child in Cameroon or in Africa, because in Africa we have parents, we have neighbors that are there to take care of your child. Neighbor, can you please, if it home a picking, why neighbors are there for to help you with that. But here in Europe, it's a different ballgame. Here in Europe, it's you, your house, your child, and you. If you're going out, you need to look for a nanny that you pay to take care of your child. So it's different. Sometimes it's even hard to get a spot at the creche. Creche is like a daycare here in France. So the challenge that I had was giving birth to a child in Europe, because when I came to Europe to study, I met this person whom we had a relationship for 4 years. And after having been through my challenges of having a child at a very young age in Cameroon, I decided that I was not going to go through that experience again, because for me, I would want to have a child with somebody that I call a husband. It's not like the person with whom I had a child. When we were growing, it was a long relationship, and we had prospects of being together forever. The fairy tale we had when we were young. But one thing led to another, and we didn't end up together. So coming to Europe, I was like, I've had a child. I would not want to have another child without being in my husband's house. I would like to get married, settle, and have my children. So I met this person. We dated for 4 years while in Europe, in Belgium. As a student, we dated for 4 years, and it was okay. We had plans. We talked about getting married. We talked about moving in together, to an extent that he became so serious about the marriage thing that I even started making marriage plans with my family. My mother can testify to that. Hey, Mojoko God. So we we had plans. So we talked. He was like, yeah, he wants to settle. We talked about settling down. We had plans on moving in together, living together. moving in together and building a family together. So because of the plans that we were having, and because of the kind of conversation that we were having, and because we are in Europe and the dynamics of Europe, we decided to have a child together, knowing that okay, we cannot just get into marriage without having the pillars of Europe, that like the pillars of the Europe life. We need to have those pillars before we can actually talk about getting married, like the initial marriage. So we decided to have a child together. We got pregnant. When I got pregnant, that's when I started realizing certain things, like, because he was never available, this person. Like when I go to for my antenatals, like it was a trauma. I'm telling you, it was a trauma, because you go to the clinic, you go to for your antenatals, like the day you have to see your gynecologist, and you see ladies, women coming there with their spouses, their husbands, their wives, everybody's coming, and you every day you're going alone, like you're pushing your stomach as you're walking. You can't sit there alone. It was so lonely. So I went through all of that alone, my hormonal changes alone and stuff like that. When it comes to the at home, he's present, but when it comes to the going out part of it, like going to the clinic together, visiting my gynecologist together, he's not available. He's always having from one complaint to another. So it came to a point where I had to travel, because I didn't have to give birth I had to relocate, you know. I had other things planned out in where I am right now. So I had to travel. And I traveled alone. This guy didn't even bother to escort me to, I'm pregnant. I traveled. I came to France when I was about 6 months pregnant. I was heavy. I traveled. I came alone, you know. I came after when I gave birth. Before I gave birth, I think 2 weeks before I gave birth, he came, because he had to bring some of my stuff from Belgium. My the poussette that I bought. I bought it in Belgium, so he had to bring it for me. So he came. He came and visited. He stayed for about a week or some days, and he went back. Then the week later, I gave birth. So he could not come. But I think 1 month after my birth, when my baby was 1 month, he came. When she was 1 month old, he came and visited the baby. And he was kind of like, it seemed like things were falling back in place. He came, like that family that you wanted, to have a child with your guy, and you guys living your dream. It was nice when it lasted though. That was the first time he came visiting. Then he came another time when I think the baby was about 4 months. He came, and when he came that time, it's like he came on a purpose, because when he came, he started like, I don't think like I want to ever get married. I don't think like I want to be married. I don't want to. I don't think like I want to be accountable to anybody. Getting married or being in that box means you need to be accountable to the person that you're with. So I don't think that I can be accountable to anybody. I just want to live a life. So if we can do co-parenting, it's going to be okay. I don't mind. I was like, where is all this coming from? We've been together for 4 years. Like, in those 4 years, you did not realize that you don't want to get married. We have been having conversations of marriage. Like, hello, is it in 2020 or 21 that you realize that you don't want to get married? What about me? Like, I had a lot of questions to ask. Like, it was so hurting. It was so painful, to realize that you have been with somebody for 4 years. You have been turning down proposals of other people who were potential prospects, because you thought that you were in a serious relationship with this person. Then you end up being left in the middle of a sea with a baby. Who do you rescue? Are you rescuing yourself, or are you rescuing your baby? So I became a single parent, because I started asking myself, like, single being a mother, single parent, to I have a baby, I have a son, now I have a daughter with no husband. Where do I go from here? What do I do? How do I raise my daughter in Europe alone? How do I work? How do I feed her? How do I fend for her? I had so many questions that I kept asking. When he said that he left too, he went and I never heard from him, never saw him. And I'll stay every day in my bed like crying, having sleepless nights. I can tell you for a fact that till date I still suffer from insomnia, because at that time, those years of my life, I was not sleeping. I was not. I would cry myself to stupor. I would cry, and I would not feel like I need to eat anything. I will not feel hungry. I'll just struggle to make food for my baby to eat, and So I cried. Man, I cried my eyes out. Today I'm saying it and I'm laughing, but it's honestly, it was an experience that was hurting. If I have my friends like Shoshi who could tell you, like, I used to call her, and I had never called my mom and pour out my heart the way I did when that happened to me. Like, I cried my eyes out. I called my mom and I cried. Even my dad, I called him and I cried. And he was praying for me over the phone. They're like, don't worry, you'll be strong. You're a strong person. Hey, I'm like, I'm not strong anymore. I cannot do this. I cried. But after some time, because I had thoughts of, I had suicidal thoughts. At one point, I was like, "Why am I living for? What am I living for? Why all these kind of disappointments in my life like this?" Like, you ask yourself so many questions to a point where you feel like you want to give up. To a point where you feel like you're no longer worthy of life. But when I looked at my child, I thought of my son. I'm like, no man should make you kill yourself. Yeah, it's hurting. Yes, it's disappointing. It's okay to cry. It's okay to shout and scream, but do not kill yourself for people who are not worthy of it. For people who didn't find you worthy, So, yeah, I became a single mom again of two. I had to grow up again once more, because when I was alone, I would take care of myself. I go to work, I come back. But now I'm in a strange land with a baby, with no job, no house. Because when I came to France, I was housed by one family. Like, one of my other friends in Belgium oriented me to a family here in France who took me in and took care of me till I had my baby. Shout out to the family of Bankem. I love you. Yeah, they housed me till I had my baby, and yeah, we are still very close, and they are like my close family here in France. Yeah, so I had challenges because I had to now think of what to do to have income to take care of my child. But how do I go out there and look for a job with a baby? I had to start talking to people. I had to start finding information, getting information on how to go about registering your child at the creche. So I called and they told me, no, I'm late because there's no place. Normally you do register your child from 6 months. So I was calling when my baby was already born. So somebody advised me that where I was living at the time, there are some people there are some women there who are there with me, who could help me to take care of my baby while I go for work. If I have something to do, I just have to pay them. We have to arrange like how much to pay per day. So then I was doing a voluntary service with one association, and I helped them because I became versed to the system. I started learning about the system. So I was helping this association as a volunteer to do most of their documentations. So when an opening came up, they asked me to send in my application. I sent in my application, and God being so wonderful, I got the job, and I had to now look for a place to keep my baby. I'm telling you, it was that job that saved me, because when I was still at home going through my depression as a single parent and just breaking up from a relationship that I thought that was leading me to marriage, I became so stressed. I became so lonely. I became so emotional. So I needed to talk to somebody. I knew for a fact that being alone was going to escalate my situation. So I had to talk to somebody. So I went to, there's a place in France they call PME. It's like a hospital for babies. So I went there, I explained my situation to them. I told them, like, I need to talk to somebody. I need a psychologist. I need to talk to somebody. I'm stressed. I think I'm in depression. I need to talk to somebody. So they made they scheduled me with a guy, with a psychologist, sorry. So I came, I sat down with the guy, and psychology session is just you telling your story, crying your heart out, and he's there to listen. And if he finds that you are in a situation where you cannot take care of your child, though, he's going to orientate you, or call a certain system that is going to come and take your child away from you for some time. And when they feel like, though, you start going through some kind of evaluations and stuff like that. So when I went there for the first time, I realized that was what could happen. I was like, I'm not going there anymore. So this job came as a blessing to me. It came, and it took me out from that bubble of being lonely, of being stressed, of being deserted. So going to work every day and coming back and meeting people, because the work that I was doing entailed you talking to people who are stressed, who have their own problems. So I I started coming out from that state of mind bit by bit by bit. And I can tell you for a fact that I am healed. That's why today I can talk about my story, because I'm healed from that state. Well, we all know that sometimes some people have different ways of managing and coping with situations, especially when it comes to do with living a relationship with somebody that you loved and actually wanted it to evolve and take you to the next level. But if that didn't work out, if that didn't go the way you wanted it to go, some people tend to carry the hate. Some people tend to hate the other person. They tend to grow this anger and this rage inside of them, that if you're not careful, you find yourself hating your child. You find yourself reacting in a negative way towards your child when that child, out of innocence, does something that makes you or reminds you of their father, or reminds you of their mother, you know and you see yourself reacting in a negative way towards that child, or calling the child names, or because of the hatred that you have developed towards their parents, the other partner, you tend not to like your child that much, you tend not to love your child that much. So I witnessed those kind of relationships from people that I know, and I was like, me personally, my child didn't vote to be the child did not vote to be here now. It's an innocent child. It's because you people had your own plans. You decided to bring a human in this life. I'm not me in particular, or as an individual, I told myself that I was not going to, no matter what the situation will be, I'm not going to show my child nothing but love. I'm not going to hate my child. I'm not going to, because the father left us or because the father was not man enough, to now transfer the hatred to my child. Not even to my first son. I never did that to him, you know. The problem between their father and me is personal. I don't have to now direct my energy of anger and hate to the children. They are innocent children. So I took it as a point of responsibility to love my child regardless of what is happening. To love the child as an individual, because she's part of me. She came out from me. So I had to love my child. I had to show her all the love, because as a parent, as a single parent, if I fall short in that area, my child is going to be lacking. My child is going to feel the absence of something. Children are very special. They have a power. I don't know. They have a God-given power and sense. The feel, because I can tell even when I was going through my pain, I could tell that your child, she feels the pain. She feels that my mother is crying, and you don't want to carry that kind of energy to your child. You don't want to pass that kind of energy to your child. So I tried to I had to grow up. I had to wear the cap of a man and wear the cap of a woman to be able to take care of my child, to be able to grow out of my emotions. If she does wrong, I have to talk to her as a mother who is correcting her child, not as because of your father that I am here. No, I don't think that I've ever done that to my child or to my children. I love them. I show them all the love. Like, I tell them, like, I know I I am a single parent. I work. I have just one income. Now I have two kids with me here. When I was alone with just my daughter, it was easy. Now I have two or three kids with me. So I tell them, like, see, and communication is very important with your children. I tell them, like, see, if they need something, when I have, I give them. When I don't have, I try to tell them, see, right now I don't have. So they have to understand that we are living in difficult times. When mommy has, mommy can give, but when mommy does not have, mommy cannot give because she doesn't have. So they have to understand. You have to bring your children to understand that aspect, that there are times when you can have and there are times when you cannot have, which is normal in life. So for me, it was just about loving my child. Even in my issues with their parents, like, for example, my daughter, the father was not with me. I used to take picture when I take pictures of her, or when she's going through certain stages of her life, like her first birthday, or when she's sick, or or she's doing something crazy. I just take pictures and I send them to their parents. I send them to their fathers, like, okay, see, look at your daughter. Like, I'm not that kind of a parent that will say, okay, because I'm not talking to your father, I'm going to cut communication. I'm going to, you're not going to talk to your father. I'm not going to bring my children. And, like, for me, it's not. I advocate for that. Like, that's what I've been trying to do, like, between my children and their fathers. I try to bring them together, because at the end of the day, it's important that your children, no matter what the problem is between you and their father, they need to have their fathers present in their lives. They need to be there, except except it's the other partner, be it the man or the woman, that chose not to be present in the lives of their children. But if someone wants to be in the life of their children, please let them be, because it helps the child. It helps the children to grow in an atmosphere of peace. You don't want to be that parent that will always be like, now because you left me, because it's like this, I'm not going to let you have to survive. It's not going to help. It's going to strain things the more. So for me, I have been that parent that has always let things to be. Okay, we didn't work out yet, but if you want to see your child, you have the possibility. If you want to call, you can call me at this time, from this time, to talk to your child. I always leave that opening. But in my case, I my own my own partners are the ones that chose not to be in the lives of their children. They just don't want to be there, be it financially, emotionally. They're not just present. And I've also found a way of coping with that, which is okay. I have tried to bring the child close to you and you close to the child, but you don't want to. So you can't, at some point you can't force it. You just have to let it be when they are ready, whatever time they are ready. But the thing is that at the time they will be coming, they would have missed so much from or in the lives of their children, that there will be that bond between the father and the child will not be there anymore. And that's what I explain. I always tell my daughter's father, like, now you think that you want to be away from your child, right? And you're telling me how you love your child. It's okay to love your child, but that bond is not there. You're far away. Your child does not know you. By the time you want to come, even when you're coming with all the millions that you have, you introduce yourself as the father. Yeah, the child will accept you as the father, but there is going to be a friction, because the bond that was supposed to be built from childhood was not there. So yeah, for me, I love my child, to give them the love that they deserve, to enable them not to feel the gap, not to feel like something is missing, even though they'll always feel like something is missing, because your child, once she's growing up and start going to school, see other children coming with their fathers and parents, she'll come and ask you, like, mommy, like at one point my daughter started talking about papa, like you will be with her in the train, and every man she sees in the train is papa. She calls everybody papa. That was because she's lacking something is missing. But you know I try to make her understand that. And obviously I think that they do understand, because at some point they realize that, you know so they do understand. It's not like you say, it's not your papa, stop calling her. No. It's not by power now. She's innocent, she doesn't even know what she's saying, but because she feels like she has not yet seen that father figure in front of her, so anybody that she sees, anybody that comes across like a man, to her is papa. Because she started going to school, and here she's hearing papa, everybody's calling papa. She comes to and she wants to call papa. It was a difficult period for me, because it's challenging. How do you tell your child, like, okay, this is not your papa, this is not your papa, okay, this is not my papa, so where is my papa? How do you answer that kind of question? But well, so that's how I've been managing to cope with that aspect, like loving my child, not trying to be to take the anger or the rage that I have towards their father, to transfer it to the children. Yes, so like I said, being a single parent is a roller coaster. It's a roller coaster of emotions. It's a roller coaster of many things. It comes with so many things: happiness, joy, tears, and everything. But at the end of the day, as parents, or as a single father, or as a single mother, this one thing that is very important, that's in whatever situation that you find yourself in, you have it's like it's not debatable. When it comes to self-care, you need to prioritize yourself. At the end of the day, you need to take care of yourself. At the end of the day, yes, you're a single parent, it's challenging, it demands a lot, but I understand that being a single parent is not easy, especially when you are a single parent of maybe 2 3 children, and your children are probably teenagers, or you know have grown up to a certain age that you have to be present in everybody's life. It becomes so challenging that sometimes you lost yourself. You can lose yourself in all of those things, that you forget that you have to take care of yourself. So Self-care is something that is very important in the journey of a single parent. You need to find time to prioritize your own self. You need to find time to go out. You need to find time to relax because you need it. You need to breathe. You need to breathe. You need to just relax and sometimes enjoy yourself and take breaks. It's important that we take breaks. And for me, um, what has been my self-care routine or helping me be myself all through this time as a single parent, a, for me, my moments are the moments where I have to talk to my friends. Like I have my friend Juliet, and in those days, Juliet, like she was my bed of my pillow of tears. Like that was the only person when I was going through that period in my life that I could talk to, because she was always there to listen. She was always there to advise. Sometimes she will even shout at you. Sometimes we'll cry together. Sometimes like we'll share our experiences, our stories together. Like Then when we created this group, the ex-student association group in Europe in 2020, back then in 2020, I started using that as another means for me to have my me time, to go and relax, because Europe is so busy. I don't have time to go out, like have like a life out of I don't have a life out of work and my house. So because I am a single parent, I go to work. After work I have to pick up my daughter from her nannies, and we come home from Monday to Friday. That's the routine. Saturday, you need to spend time with your children. You need to spend time with your kids. So for me, my weekends were meant for resting and bonding with my child. Like the things that we could not do within the week because I am between my job and picking her up from her nanny and bringing her back home, and we just like prepare, eat, and stay up a little bit, and we have to sleep because the next day I have to be going for work. My schedule is so crazy, or was so crazy, that I didn't have time. I don't have time for myself. So those periods where we had a come together, like in the Prenexa Europe, the Prenexa Euro branch come together. I don't joke with them because for me that's the only time that I go and I distress myself. That's the only time I have my me time, that there's nobody calling me mama, 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 this is crying. Eh. So when that period is coming, I am looking forward to that period every year. Then there's also this book club FCG. Shout out to my FCG fans if you're following me. The FCG club in Belgium, they always organize these barbecue things and the end of year party. I don't miss that. Like I always try not to miss that, because for me those are the periods of the year that I use to go and distress myself. After those periods, I am work, 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 house, 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 house. I don't have time to go out. Like sometimes my friends will call me for us to go out. But how do you go out when you have a child of 2 years? At that time my daughter was about 2 years. Where do you keep her? It's not in Africa that you go, never I been home and picking at the camp, you go and come back the next day. Yeah, if you try that, the system will take away your child. So I don't have time to go out to have fun, but I use that period of July, from July to August, that 1 month period, I use it as my period to have my me time, where I go and I dance out myself, I have fun, I forget about my troubles. Then when I come back, I pick them up and I continue. So for you, it can be some other thing. It can be you having time to go and do yoga to relax yourself. Maybe It can be you going out with friends, having a drink out there, or doing outdoor games, stuff like that. It can be different. But for me, I have just that period to enjoy myself and have fun, that I take care of myself. And aside that period, I don't have time to do any other thing. So self-care, like I said, it's very important. It helps you. Do not forget about yourself. We do not have to forget about ourselves because we are single parents. We do not have to throw ourselves away because we are single parents. From time to time, put on your good dress. If you are not, you don't even need to have a program or have somewhere to go to. Just have a shower, do your makeup, wear your nice dress, and you sit at home, buy a bottle of wine, and you drink. You have a sip, you put a good movie on Netflix, and you relax and you watch your movie and you rest. You make very good meal for you and your children. You eat and you relax yourself, and it's okay. Having a me time does not necessarily mean going out, having fun, doing. Just staying at home, having an atmosphere of relaxation and all of that helps you to distress yourself. And which I'm still saying, if you're a single parent out there, self-care is very important. It's not because we are single parents that the world has come to an end. We need to live our lives. We need to, because the aspect of you being happy portrays to your children, gives us a good signal to your children. You understand? But if you're in that bubble of sadness, like I'm a single parent, every day you wake up with shabby hairs, you like your house is shabby, you don't have it it gives a narrative to your child, it gives a narrative to your children. And is that narrative a good one? I don't know. Is it a bad one? I don't know. But what I'm saying is that do not let yourself be drained by the aspect of being a single parent. I cannot say that this journey of being a single parent, I take credit entirely for it. No. I have people around me who have been with me throughout my journey of being a single parent. Like I said, I've mentioned about my parents, my family back home who are in Cameroon. I have my friends here in Europe, Juliet, Jane Manga, Georgine, and my family in Belgium. They have been pivotal and supportive in this journey of being a single parent. Just a simple phone call from your friends, like keeping you on your toes throughout the day, talking about nothing, anything but nothing. It keeps you alive, it keeps you going. And I had those people in my life. I had those kind of friends that when I feel like I needed to talk, I will call them, and they were always available for me. They were always there to listen. They were always there to give me advice, to give me emotional support, financial support. They were there. So my journey in my single parenthood, I would not say that it's because I was so smart about it, or I was strong. I was not strong. I am not strong, but I have a support system. And I want to take this opportunity to tell them how much their love, their support, and their care means to me, be it from distance, be it from near. But I appreciate you. I feel it in my heart. And I'll always love you guys. Being there for me, for being there for the children, for being there in every stage of my life, every process, every decision making of my life. You've been part of it. So I thank you. I appreciate you so much. I think that it is important to have a support system. Some people, their support system may not be friends or family. Their support system may be just like a single parent group that they register into to go there and share their experience and share their challenges and get advice and get tips. Yeah, you need it. It's important because you cannot do it all by yourself. You cannot be boastful to say that, yeah, I can manage, I can cope. You need people. You need to express yourself. Being lonely or being stressed, it's okay. They are just the feelings that come from being a single parent. So do not kill yourself, or do not feel that by expressing yourself you will be regarded as low or as a failure or something. No, 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 you're not a failure. You're not a failure. Rather, being able to express yourself, being able to open up to people makes you human, makes you win over that situation that people thought that you were going to fall. So I encourage everybody that is out there watching me right now, be it a single parent, be it somebody that is just watching me for to learn and to follow me throughout this journey. It's okay to open up. It's okay to talk about your problems to people. But I would say that we should be mindful, however, of the people that we open up to, because sometimes the people that we open up to could just be the beginning of our downfall. So while it's important to open up to people about your problems, we should be able to ascertain who exactly we are opening up to. Talking about the proud moments that that I have had as a single parent, like in general, it's been an experience, a Swedish bitter experience. Like I said, there are moments where it's good, there are moments where there are the high and the low moments in single parenting. But I can say that looking back, or looking at my child or children, looking at my children, I feel proud of myself, because today I have a son of 12 years old who is going to college, and I won't take credit for his upbringing alone, because my parents did basically 90% of his upbringing, because I left him in Cameroon when he was 5 years old. I came to Europe. So his growing up was entirely my parents. I was just behind the scenes, giving the moral support and the financial support and stuff like that. But my daughter, eh? When I look at her, I'm proud, because I was able, by the special grace of God, because it's still not by my power, it's by the grace of God, to give me the strength and the energy to raise a child alone in Europe. And she's growing up to be a very strong, powerful, and independent little girl. I'm proud. I'm proud, honestly, because when I was going through all that emotions during the time, during back in the days 2020, that was when I came into contact with this platform. What God cannot do does not exist. And today I have my friends watching it. Georgina has become a solid member of What God Cannot Do Does Not Exist. It was actually my aunt in Nigeria that sent me that link, and when I clicked on it, that platform, I'm telling you, helped me, encouraged me, gave me boost up my morals. Like, I became so prayerful. I became so, my mindset changed, honestly, and it helped me. It helped me a lot. And I was doing those prayers with my daughter, and today waking up to your daughter telling you, Mama, let's pray in the morning. What else do you want? What else do you wish for? I just look at her and I'm like, God, thank you. And my prayers every day is just for God to continue to give me the grace and the wisdom and the understanding to bring up my children in the ways of the Lord, because that is the only way that you can be able, because there are some times that you as a parent, you fall short of your own abilities. Like you have your own thing that are troubling you, financial issues that are troubling you, and at the same time you need to manage the problems of your children. So sometimes you fall short, but the mercies of God never fall short. So sometimes I'm just like, God, it's just by your grace that I am able to walk through this journey of storms and thunders and not being struck by one of the thunders, you know. And today I have a daughter that has the mindset of wanting to do house chores without you telling her to do. Like, she understands that she wants to be independent. You know, when she was 2 years old, you want to dress her and she'll be like, she'll start crying like she wants to dress by herself. You want to feed her, she wants to eat by herself. She started developing this sense of independence at a very young age, and today she's 3. She does things that you look at her and you're like, at the age of 3. So I'm proud of myself, and I thank God for that. I thank God for giving me the grace and wisdom, you know, to be able to bring up a child single-handedly in Europe. It's not easy. For parents who are in Europe, single parents who are in Europe, they can testify to the fact that it's not easy bringing up a child in Europe with all the hazards and the chaos that is going on in Europe. Well, the journey is not yet over. It's just the beginning. But for now, I can tell you that I'm proud of myself as a single parent and as a mother of a 3 years old and a 12 years old. I'm proud, and I have just God to thank for all of this. I have my friends and family to thank for all of this as well. I told you that as a single parent, there are challenges, but there are challenges. And for me, what has been the toughest of all the challenges as a single parent has been financial, emotional, and co-parenting, you know. So for the financial aspect of it, like I told you, I work, but for 2 children, I have just one job. When I was alone, it was okay. Having just one child, it was still passable. But now I have 2 kids because I had to bring my son over to meet me. I have 2 kids now. It's crazy. I had to bring my son and my junior brother, so I have 3 children at home. It's crazy, I can tell you for a fact. Like, with just one job, it's not easy. But I try to manage, you know. I try to manage myself with my children. And it's the reason I told you that it's important to communicate with your children, because with my kids, especially the grown-ups, I explain to them, like, see, they have needs, they tell me they have needs, and I look at the needs that are most pertinent, and I get them. But for the ones that I cannot get because I am short of funds, I explain to them, like, okay, I know that you need this, but right now I cannot afford at the moment, but I am going to when I have the means to do it. And it's okay sometimes to seek for help. I have my family, I have my friends sometimes who help me financially, and sometimes too, you know, we are in Europe, you know, and the system helps you too financially, you know. So right now I'm in that group of families that they call famille nombreuse. So normally the government is supposed to assist me financially, but I am not yet at that level where they are assisting me financially, because it's a process. You need to mount some documents, and they have to verify that all your documents that you have mounted is they are authentic before they conclude that, okay, you're a famille nombreuse and this is what they are going to attribute to you every month and stuff like that. So because I'm in that process for now, it's a challenge for me, because like I told you, for me, my dynamics of being a single parent is that the fathers of my children are not available, they are not present, so they don't contribute financially to into the lives of their children. So I am the sole person doing everything for my children from head to toe. You know, sometimes I actually go out of my way to ask them for financial help. My daughter is 3, she had to start school this year. I had to call the dad. I'm like, okay, this is September, your child needs to go to school and she needs this and this and that. But up to today, he hasn't. But I have done my own part as a mother. I have passed the information, because the mistake some of us, like mothers, we do is that we take that hatred of all the anger that we had in through the breakup, and we decide not to communicate with the other parent, and we decide to draw a line like, okay, he went, he's gone, blah blah blah. But it's not about you, it's not about me, it's about the child. So if you're reaching out to the other parent, it's not because you want the both of you, it's not because you want the relationship to come back, but it's because he needs to meet up with his responsibilities. You need to tell him, don't put yourself in a situation where you would be you have reasons, you have good reasons, but you will be the one you will be the one they'll blame, people will blame because of the decisions that you made. What I'm trying to say is, like, for example, your child is sick and you decide to take care of that child alone, hospital bills and stuff like that, without informing the other parent. The other parent will have an argument that will be against you, even though you had good reason, you had a point, you're angry, you're upset, but he didn't contribute. He would have a point to say that I did not contribute because you did not inform me. So do not give reasons for people to nail you, when in actual sense they are the ones they're supposed to nail. So always try to communicate at the right time, the right information to the other partner, so that at the end of the day, they will not have something to say about you. They will not have to say that, yeah, if you had told me, I would have. Who told you I would? So for me, I always, when my child is sick, I give the information. When you're going to school, I give the information. When it's their birthday coming, I give them the information. If they want to do, they do. If they don't want to do, I have done my own bit. And tomorrow, nobody will have to say that it's because I did not inform them, because I did inform you, but you didn't do your part. So it will be their problem to solve, not me anymore. When you share those problems, it helps you financially too. If you have a partner who is present financially, it helps to reduce some burden from you. There are some things that maybe if you were alone, you will not probably have the money to do it, but because the other partner is present, it helps, it reduces the weight, it lightens the burden. But unfortunately for me, like I said, for me it's a little bit of a challenge, because I'm alone, I'm doing everything by myself. I don't have anybody to help me financially aside of my family or my friends. And I cannot really call on my family like from time to time, because they're in Cameroon. So I just have to manage everything by myself. So I try to, the little I have, I try to manage with my children. I try to save a bit, but for now I can't tell you that I'm really saving anything, because I am trying to go back to school, so I stopped working. I stopped working a week ago, so I am preparing to go back to school and do a program that is going to, to further my career. So yes, but as a tip that I'm giving out to single parents out there, if you're a single parent watching me, and if you're the single parent who has been neglecting the fact that you have to share information to the other party because of the dynamics that you're having, I would say that you should try as much as possible to reverse that decision, because it's going to help you financially. It's going to help you in having more time for yourself, especially if you're having to share co-parenting, like especially if you're doing the co-parenting thing, like the child has to stay over with you for some time and stay over with the parent. It gives you time to take care of your own self and do your own things. So yeah. Then, talking about the emotional aspect of it, well, like I said, it's stressful, it's time consuming. Sometimes you feel lonely, and I've explained to you my own personal experience about being a single parent emotionally, how I was traumatized, how I felt, the emotional aspect of it, how it meant to me, and what I did. I had to look for somebody to talk to. Like, you cannot bubble that all up in you, like you're going to explode one day. And sometimes explosion can be a negative reaction towards your children, which is not good. It can be a negative reaction towards your oncoming relationships, because you have not healed from the struggles that you're going through, or you went through, and then you're trying at the same time to get into a new relationship that might affect your new relationship. You might take the anger and your hatred and your rage from the past relationship, and you're trying to implement it into your new relationship, and everything will just become so chaos. So yeah, you need to talk to somebody. You need to look for a support group. You need to be able to express yourself. You need to communicate. You need to communicate with somebody. You need to communicate with your children. Let your children in. Don't be I have learned not to be a close parent. Sometimes it's not everything you discuss with your children, but there are some key things like finances. It's not all about your finances that you talk to your children about, but just letting them know, like, the situation, the present situation, what is going on, so that they know that if you're not able to fund certain aspects of their lives, it's not because you don't want to, it's not because you don't care about them, but it's because at this point in time, these are the limitations that you as a parent you are facing. Then, co-parenting, which I said is the father which I said is the father of it all. Co-parenting. Well, co-parenting, like I said, because the fathers of my children decided not to be part of the lives of their children, I cannot say I am really doing more of or much of co-parenting. I'm not co-parenting, but I know of people who are co-parenting. So I think that it's a challenge, because sometimes it's difficult to manage that situation, because you are raising up your child to be something, okay? And then you have the other parent that way, who might be having another relationship that way, who might maybe having that partner whom they are having in their relationship might be having their own kind of mentality of raising a child. And it can be vice versa. You can be the partner to a parent who is co-parenting, and you can have a child coming in. You have your own dynamics as in your own house, and to to merge all of that is difficult. You bring up your child, you want to bring up your child in a way that is good for you, and the way that you think that is good for the child. That child takes that knowledge, right? When the child goes into the other family, it's mixed up because that other parent and their partner, they have their own dynamics of raising children. So the child gets mixed up in so many ways. But I think that it is more difficult when those two parents are not understanding themselves, like they are not in communicative terms, because some people take breakup in a very nasty way that ends up creating an anonymity between them, that they don't want to see each other. But if we look at it in another way, you were with this person, you had a great time, but there came a time where you people could no longer be together. But in your separation, there was already a seed. So if you look at that seed and decide to bring your energies together to bring up that seed, I think that is going to be easy. But because everybody has ego, everybody wants that things should be done in their own ways. We do not want to look for a common ground where everybody can meet and understand themselves. It becomes like a battlefield for the child. It is the child that is suffering. I give my doctrine, he goes there or she goes there and get another doctrine, and they are confused. Okay, now who should I follow? So the child start creating like different two notions. The child knows that when I go here, I bath at 4 a.m. it's okay. I eat in my room, it's okay. I sleep at midnight, it's okay. So when they are going there, they have all of that in their mind. When they are coming here, okay. So their system becomes divided into two. And sometimes some children can be so terrible that maybe you as a parent who is this way, you're being strict and trying to bring up your children with certain morals. They go the other way, they see laxity. They start finding it easier to be that way than being here, because they'll at that time they're looking at you as the bad parent and looking at the other one as the best good parent to be there, because they have liberty, they have relaxation time, they have everything, you know. So I say co-parenting is complicated and the father of it all, because of the dynamics that comes with it, and because of the two people concerned, you know. Raising up a child in a home where the father and the mother are there is different than raising a child where the father is that way with another partner, then the mother is this way, maybe single or with another partner. There are two different kind of dynamics. It's complicated. So it needs two people who are mature enough and who have passed that level of naivety, and they have come to understand that co-parenting is not about themselves. It's not about acting up about what happened in the past, but acting up for the betterment of their child. Then that child, co-parenting can work properly. Co-parenting can be nice, can be of great help or to their child. But when two people take co-parenting as a means to pepper the other person, and this one is peppering the other person, like, okay, you left me, I'll show you. It is the child that is suffering. It is the child that is suffering. So I think that as a single parent, we should aim not at throwing revenge at the other partner, but our goal should be more focused on raising our children, both parents interfering and raising the child to grow up to be a better person, to be a better version of you both, rather than being selfish and putting your selfish interest first. In conclusion, on this topic, on this journey of single parenting, I want to remind us of the various key aspects that I have talked about here today, which are being able to take care of ourselves, self-care, which is very important, and looking for a support group. If you do not have friends, if you do not have family members where you can run to, support groups are very important and vital for you if you feel like you need someone to talk to. We have also talked about the challenging moments of and the difficult moments of being a single parent, and we talked about the happy moments too, because like I said, being a single parent doesn't mean that you are in hell. It doesn't mean that you have been doomed. You know, there are happy moments that comes with it. There are times where you look at your children and you're proud of yourself. And in everything that we do, we should always put God first, because he's the head of it all. He's the beginning and he's the end, you know. So in your challenging and trial moments, do not forget to call on God, because he will always come to rescue you. I did, and he came to my rescue, and I'm here today to share my story with you. And I hope that my story resonates with you. I hope that my story will be able to inspire and motivate you not to feel lonely, not to feel that you have been defeated, not to feel like you are a failure. You're not a failure. You're not a failure, and you will never be a failure. So we've also talked about the fact that we've also talked about the challenges that comes with singlehood, which are the financial challenges, the emotional, and the co-parenting aspects of all of it. But I would want to leave here giving this one last advice to every single parent that is watching me out there. In everything that you do as a single parent, no matter how hurt that you are, no matter how pissed you are by the other parent, because I'm telling you for sure, it's out of experience, there will be times where you feel like throwing hurtful cursing and all to the parent, because there are times where you are really in need of them to support, you know, to be there. But when you reach out, just what they are going to tell you, what they will say, will throw you back. But what I'm telling you right now is that in whatever situation that you find yourself in, or you have found yourself in, or you're going through right now, do not, for the sake of your children or for the sake of your child, do not lay curses on anybody. Because I think that as someone who is going through pain, and whose pain is justified, like you're going through genuine pain where you didn't do this person anything, but out of just wickedness and I don't know, they choose to hurt you, they choose to bring you down, they choose to destroy you. Through that pain, through that hurt, through your tears, tears crying down your eyes, and with that pain you can utter words that can go beyond. They say the air is full of good and bad spirits. So you can be saying something just because you're hurt at that particular time, at that particular moment, but the air has taken it. You don't know whether it's the good or the bad that has taken your words, and it starts manifesting. Mind you, that other person you're cursing, there's something linking that person. There's something linking that person to your child, which means that whatever words that you utter against that person, it might not affect that person. No, you might be in some words uttering those words to your own child, because you can be here that because you start shrinking, you will never see. Do not, I beg of you, in whatever situation that you find yourself in, no matter how painful and hurtful they might have pierced you, do not try not to utter curses. Try not to utter curses to them, because whatever thing that you say against them will affect your child. You will not want to curse somebody that he will never. Then some people go to the extent and say your generation, but your generation is what is lying beside you, the child. your child is part of his generation. So when you're cursing him and saying words against him and his generation, it means you're saying that those things that you're saying them against your own child that is lying beside you. So that is something that I told myself, because when I look at my child, I will not want my child. When I'm praying against generational curses. So why should I be praying against generational curses and I'm at the same time laying them on my child? I should be breaking every generational curse, not putting them, not inflicting them. So this is just a little tip and advice I'm giving out there to all my single parents watching me. In whatever situation that you're going through or you find yourself in, please do not lay curses on anyone. Do not lay curses on anyone, because whatever curse that you give, it will come back to you and your child, and you'll be the one facing it. Let them go, you know. Let them go, and God in his own time, in his own way, is going to pay them back in their own coins. Judgment, they say, is on earth. Nobody hurts you and goes scot-free. So why fight the battle? God said in the Bible that let the battle be mine. Let the battle be my own battle. So leave your battle in the hands of God, and he will surely fight that battle for you and vindicate you at the end of the day, and you will receive your victory at the end of the day. Don't go about laying curses on people because you're at the end of the day you're laying curses on your children. Don't go about you don't the time that you have is the time that you should take that time and nurture your children. Not to be, it's okay to cry, but when you cry, don't lay curses. Don't lay curses. It's not worth it. So yeah, guys, we have come to the end of this video. We have come to the end of this session. If you like my video, please don't forget to drop your comments, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to click the notification bell below for more notifications whenever I drop a new video. Thank you very much, and stay tuned, stay blessed, and may God continue to keep you out there and give you the strength as a single parent to bring up your children and raise your children in the fear of God. Thank you, and bye bye. Au revoir.